Tony Schultz once again for Tony's Trail Rides with KQ98 and Iron Hill Powersports in Waukon, Iowa. I am super excited today to go on my third test ride. John told me I was going to have an awesome treat, and I definitely got it here. Let's take a look. This is a Honda Talon 1000R. This thing is made to race. This is the ultimate trail ride right here. A 1000cc parallel engine. Now let's take a look at this. First of all, you've got the Warren winch on there. Now that Warren winch has got a remote that plugs into the back of the glove box, and that's where you can run it from, so you can stand outside the vehicle and run it if you need to. Let's take a look at the camo on here. This is the Viper Urban Camo Package. That's what we've got for camouflage on there. Really cool, really neat. Looking at the tires down here, we've got 17 inches of travel in the front and 20 inches of travel in the back on Fox live valve suspension. 28-inch tires, 13 inches of ground clearance. Now this ride is 68.5 inches wide, which is important depending on what kind of trails you're going to ride on. Let's take a look inside the cockpit. Man, this thing has got a ton of bells and whistles on it, that's for sure. You've got two modes here on the left. You've got normal mode and you've got sport mode, which automatically adjusts the shocks. You can shift manually. You can see it's got manual paddles in there for shifting. It's a 6-speed dual clutch transmission, a DCT, and it's got direct drive shaft. And what's good about that, that's great if you have to go into the water, because it won't get as much water on belts and stuff. Disc brakes all the way around, and you can see that engine right in there under the tires and under the back of it. Man, this thing is a powerful machine, and we are going to take it racing. We're going to get out on some flat surface and really go with it. It's got a little bit of room in the back here. Mostly that's for carrying your cooler, your snacks, your water, and of course maybe a spare tire depending on how you deck this thing out. It does have a LED light bar on the top of it, and it is just ready to race. So in a little bit we're going to be going out and putting it through its paces. And the one cool thing about it, we're going to talk about launch mode. That's right, launch mode, and what that's all about. To really test out the speed of the Honda Talon, I took it to Deerfield Farms, owned by my friend Ken Witt. He said, go on down by the flats by the river and see what it does. There is a lot of power in the Honda Talon when it takes off. Once I got my feet under me and got it a little warmed up, I put the launch mode to the test. That was fun. You hold down the brake, push the launch mode button, hold down the shifting paddles, give it the gas to a certain RPM, and then let go of everything and hit the gas, and it takes off. And you can see that in the video. The answer to the question is 70 miles an hour is what I got it up to. That was just because I ran out of field. I couldn't go any farther, so it could have gone faster. ...2021 Honda Talon 1000cc parallel twin engine, 6-speed dual clutch transmission. That's a DCT, direct drive shaft, Fox live valve suspension. It's got 70 inches of travel in the front and 20 inches in the back. 28-inch tires on this ride and 13 inches of ground clearance. Disc brakes all the way around. It goes when you need to go, and it stops when you need to stop. This is just further proof that this ride is made for racing. If you're just going to do pleasure riding and going around on trails and not going fast, you're really paying for something you don't need. So if you plan to do any type of racing with this or have areas where you can do racing, this is the ride for you. Again, just pleasure riding around the trails, you'd have a lot of options that you just wouldn't get any use out of, and you're not spending your money in the best way possible. But this is a fun ride. If that's what you need it for, buy it. After testing the speed on Saturday, we went and tested out the trail riding ability of the Honda Talon 1000R on Sunday. Took it to the trails in Chatfield, Minnesota. These are some great trails, well maintained, and some different things to do. They've got a sandpit area where you can just kind of tear it up in there. They've got some rocky terrain to climb over, and one really tall rock climb that they had as part of the trail system. It goes over public land and mostly private land with cattle gates to get you from property to property. I thought it was really cool that they even marked the property owners' names on the gate. There were a few people out there trying to get in their last rides before next weekend when the parks all close. It was a cold day, but it was still a fun day to be out on the trails. And on these trails, there's a lot of loops and a lot of turns. Sometimes you feel like you're actually getting lost, but in a good way, because you know it's eventually going to take you back to the parking lot. We had fun going both ways on most of these trails. There are a few one-way trails, and we even had to go through some cows in the pasture. But as long as you take it slow, they don't seem to mind. They just kind of get out of your way.
Go, baby.
Go slow. Thanks again to John and the crew down at Iron Hill Powersports in Waukon, Iowa. If you're looking to buy the Honda Talon, it is for sale. Get a hold of them, get on down there, and get it on your trailer and take it home. Here I am at Iron Hill Powersports in Waukon, Iowa, dropping off the Honda Talon. Man, I had a lot of fun with this ride. Now, I want to be very clear about a couple of things. You see me doing that speed test out in the bean field. First of all, when you're on trails, you can't do that. You just don't have that ability or opportunity. So if you do a lot of trail riding, that might not be something that appeals to you as one of the bells and whistles. But if you're looking to race and go really fast, the Honda Talon 1000R is definitely for you. This is a fun, fast machine just for that. So you can take it on the trails, but racing might be more of its forte. Once again, had a lot of fun. Thanks to John and the crew at Iron Hill Powersports here in Waukon, Iowa. I'm Tony with Tony's Trail Rides on KQ98.